The Brand New You program is based on the 10 rules that I've been sharing with the biggest names across the planet. 10 mind programming presuppositions using NLP and hypnosis, life coaching and counseling techniques, all bringing together emotional intelligence and empathy to empower people to believe that they can do what they truly need to do to get themselves to brand new successes. This incredibly interesting and interactive presentation guarantees they start thinking differently from the moment we begin. Firstly, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. Once you can do that, you can do anything. Most people don't know they have all the tools, all the tricks, all the abilities, and all the skill sets to be able to move forward. Success changes for everybody, and it's always a work in progress. The 10 rules of success are all presuppositions that, when taken in context, can give you the ability to take any situation, however dire and disappointing, however depressed and challenging it is, and find a simple way of getting your way forward. But it's not just me in front of a giant PowerPoint screen. There's also a ton of fun with interactive videos that they will love. Some of them are really cute. Some put their lives really into perspective.
How do you keep yourself psychologically healthy in space?
It's also interactive with lots of thrills, spills, and laughs.
You got more space.
Yeah. They also get a special gift, something to reprogram and help them on their journey. The Brand New You NLP audio program.
My name is Dave Crane. We've never had a time where so many people feel so lonely, so isolated, so helpless, and so scared. Worried about their jobs, worried about their future, worried about their family, worried about their health. That's why I've created this audio. As a hypnotherapist, I've helped many people to create success in their business life, in their personal life, and in their emotional stability. Imagine being able to talk to the very best of you in the past, the most successful version of you, and getting them to advise you on how you need to move forward. And being able to talk to the future version of you who's already lived through this and had the success that you could have dreamed of, who's telling you what they did next. This audio is designed to give you both of them as your mentors and to help you create a brand new you. Enjoy, and please share with those who you know need it as well. My name is Dave Crane.
Good morning, how are you? It's nice to see you. My name's Dave Crane. It was Dave Crane yesterday. It's Dave Crane again today. And it probably will be tomorrow, unless you don't like the show, in which case my name will probably be something else. But let's not talk about that, because it's not even a family show. We can't just say it's a family show because, well, today is a family show, because the picture you can see right there, yes, you can see this picture. I'll just grow it a little bit bigger. That's my mum and my dad when they got married. Let's see how many years ago. If I'm 52 now, they got married probably about 53 years ago. He said, try and avoid the term B. That would be about right, wouldn't it? So therefore, you know how babies, if a mummy and a daddy love each other very much, then they're allowed to contact the stork. In those days, they had to write a letter. They couldn't use the internet. And the stork would deliver a little brown baby boy. Doesn't have a brown baby boy for everybody. It could be a baby boy or a baby girl. And they don't have to be brown. There are all sorts of weird colors when they come out. And then the pigment changes as the baby grows. It's true. Well, it is true. So there's my mum. My mum's celebrating her birthday today, and she said don't mention it, so I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to say how old she is, but it's a milestone year. You can guess on your own exactly how long ago that was. Now, here's the point. I'm not going to do. I want to make a big deal. My mum. I respect her wishes not to say anything. Okay, but what I want to say is something that's really dear to me. And it's not just about the fact I love my mum. And it's not just about the fact that we're a mixed couple. And it's not just the fact that I'm a huge fan of Black Panther and Wakanda, as everybody on the planet should be. It's the fact that this picture that you see of my mum and dad has been colourified. Now, I don't mean colourified as in like you've added like a black and white person. It was a black and white photo, but we had enhanced because obviously we didn't have colour cameras in those days. Had it enhanced to bring out the skin pigments. Now, I love the photo and it means a lot to me. But that's going back over 50 years ago when they decided that they were going to get married. Now, my mum came over from the West Indies in her 20s and met my father. My father's backstory is huge as well. That's another story from, well, I'll go there another time. But in the 60s when we got together, the entire world was going through the racial turmoil of what you experienced with Martin Luther King and all the rest of the stuff about the, equal rights and voting and all the rest of it and sitting on the front of the bus or the back of the bus. And both communities turned around. The black community my mother was in, the white community my dad was in, turned around and said, do not start this relationship. You two should not get together because if you do, we can't support you and there'll be nowhere you can go. Nobody's going to help you. You'll be an outcast from both sides of the color scheme. And they said, stuff you. We're going to do it anyway. And they thought long and hard about it. They thought about the kids and they'd made a decision. It's going to be tough for the kids, but if we stick and make sure they're strong, then they can deal with it. And if people don't like it, they can kiss it. And you probably guess from my attitude that it worked. It certainly worked very well. But the reason I bring it up is not just happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear mom, happy birthday to you. But also the fact, can you even imagine what it would have been like in the 60s making that decision? If you even think about the Black Lives Matter stuff that's happened this year and the conversations about do Black Lives Matter is just the most outrageous thing. And 50 years later, it's still happening as prominently as it happened before. And I bring it up because this year, and I don't talk about politics, it's one of the subjects I mentioned yesterday not to talk about, but this morning or last 24 hours, it was decided by you-know-who that there's going to be no diversity training in the American government. Nobody is going to sit there and learn about the backstory of racial history and learn how to make the world more diverse and bring people closer together because it's been declared un-American. And it's just repulsive to me. And I'm not going to go on about the other politics because there's plenty there. And I'm not going to spend my show talking about this either. So if you're not happy with it, then I understand it completely. It's just something I look at my mum's birthday and I look at the fact that they were a mixed racial couple who made me strong enough to go, you know what, I'm going to get married to somebody. Who do I want to get married to? Ooh, Asian chick, Singapore, very cool, lovely, fall in love, different religion, different color, different background, different country. Doesn't matter, she's really cool. I'm going to marry her, and we're going to have a lovely kid, at least, and dogs, at least, and live where we want, at least, and do what we want. And if people don't like it, they can kiss it. And that strength came from our parents. And what we're saying is there are people saying you should never have had that strength. You shouldn't exist. I shouldn't exist. You shouldn't have black and white or different colors getting together to make the world a bit more brown and a bit more interesting and making it so people have less wars against each other because they've got nothing to protect. The borders change when you love people from another country and another color and different religions. And here's the thing about it all, and I'm getting quite passionate because it's really winding me up, to be honest with you. The young people get this. My daughter, 9 years old, she gets it. Millennials get it. That's why they go out and marches together, regardless of color, race, sex, doesn't matter. They go out because they don't see the same borders that my generation still keep in place. And it disgusts me and it pisses me off. Anyway, Happy birthday, Mum. You didn't expect to start this. And for everybody else, welcome to Speak on Stage. After this, we're going to be talking about something completely different. We're going to be talking about this. How to love the lockdown. How to have lots of fun and some crazy stuff. And I promise you, apart from this weird beginning to the show where I've got really heavy very quickly, the rest of the show will make you laugh your head off. I can't even tell you what we've got lined up for you, but it is brilliant. So make sure you stick around. As always, I love your comments. We go out live across Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter via Periscope and YouTube, and also we broadcast across to Instagram as well. Please make sure you subscribe and connect with me on all those platforms so you never miss a single show. This show, you will laugh your head off, and I've prepared it specially for that. We've got the craziest challenges you can do to people in lockdown. We've got what happens when your partner puts your makeup on from behind. That sounds rude. It's not rude, but it is funny. And we got some really cool tips for dealing with stress in lockdown. Loads of stuff that will really make your life feel fantastic. So stick around. I promise you this show will make you feel amazing. But I still meant what I said about race. Speak on Stage. So that being said, thank you so much for coming and joining me on the show. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. There's loads and loads to get through, loads and loads to talk about, and loads of fun that we're going to have with this show. I'll just say, Mum, I'm going to catch you later on. My big Zoom call with you and Dad and me and Maya and possibly the dogs involved, so I can't wait for that later on today. Okay, back to a normal show. So what I was talking about was the importance of understanding what it's like to be in a lockdown and how you can actually love it, because I've talked to various people. About 10% of the people I talk to actually enjoy being stuck in a lockdown. Everyone else is going, I don't like it very much. It's just, I wish it'd stop. Now, I do wish it would stop, but I do actually kind of like the world we're being thrown into where you can connect with people all around the world. I wouldn't be doing this show if we didn't have lockdown. I'd be going into meetings, knocking on doors, chatting to people, and doing other stuff, but in the same locale. It's all my town, my city, not mine, I don't own it, Dubai, but it's all Dubai and UAE centric. Now I'm communicating and having meetings all around the world with various people who just jump in Zoom and pop up. Where are you? I'm in London. Where are you? I'm in Germany. Where are you? I'm in Spain. Where are you? We just woken up. We're in the US. What about me? I'm in Dubai. And where anyone here? Oh, New Zealand. Fantastic. And South Africa. That was a meeting the other day. Seriously. It's just crazy. That would never, ever, ever, ever have happened before. Never. Nobody took conference apps that seriously before, and nobody choked quite as much as I did then. Hold on. I'll do it the other way. Ow, burning my hand, burning my hand, burning my hand, burning my hand. Toothless and... I forgot his name again. Nobbit. It's not Nobbit, is it? It's Nobbit. Not Nobbit. What's his name? It'll come to me. I keep forgetting what it is, and it's not worth money, but it does stress me out, and it makes me want to go on holiday to Wakanda. See, that's all my toys in one go. I was trying to work out what the name of that guy is, but it will still come back to me in a moment. So what we're talking about is about if you're stuck in lockdown, there's two ways of looking at it. It's a massive opportunity, and the world is changing during this opportunity. You can change with it, or you can sit there and go, I'm not playing, don't want to change, not doing nothing. I'm waiting for the world to snap back into the way it was, and it's not going to snap back. But a lot of things that are really cool about the world will evolve, and what I do believe is it really opens up a massive opportunity for you as an individual to start doing stuff you probably never thought of doing before, to connect with people, to reinvent your business, to go digital. Now, normally the show is all about that kind of stuff, and it's about learning to speak and communicate, which I make a big point of talking about. Your ability to speak, your ability to communicate, your ability to be connected to people all around the world is wonderful. And I hope you're taking advantage to do as much of that as possible. And in the show, we will talk about that as well. But also your chance to reinvent, your chance to just decide which country you want to live in. Because if you're stuck in, like, for instance, people moving out of the cities and out of the countryside, that's a huge mindset change. So there's loads of things I want to share with you with today's show, which I hope will bring a smile to your face as much as it did to me. So we're going to start off, first of all, dealing with a tough thing. The tough thing is about stress. So we're going to start off getting rid of the stress thing. So after that, it's just going to be party. Okay, so we're going to kick off watching a video all about the 10 stressful things that you can get rid of, or ways of dealing with stress much easier. And then we're going to go into some stuff that I promise will make you laugh. Do not go anywhere else, but I love your comments. I love to know where you're calling from. And also, as always, this is money in the bank for you. Why is it money, Dave? All you're going to make us do is laugh. Well, because you de-stress, you're not going to be paying for necessary treatments. And because you're laughing, there'll be some ideas that you go, oh, actually, I could do something with that. And because money is important, because one of the things we've learned from a lockdown is that you don't need money as much as you thought you did. I'll be sharing with you a little bit later on this. This is interesting, he said, trying to make it work. So this is things that you can love about the lockdown. All that and more coming up in the show. And yes, that was very pink. In fact, it was probably a bit too pink for most people. So next up, we're going to look at the stress details and how you can de-stress easily while in the lockdown. Welcome back to Speak on Stage. I know that video was caught between a bit boring to watch, but some really good information. I normally like to have a video that's got explanations and speaking over it, but that was really concise. In 2 minutes, it just delivered everything I wanted to share with you about the things that you can actually do to deal with stress. And the characters in it were a little bit sort of like badly drawn, and I don't understand why the guy had a conjoined twin stuck on the side of his head. Maybe it was his hair, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's probably not a very PC thing to say, but it looked weird, but it carried a lot of weight. So, if you just joined me, as always, I love your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how your day's going. Tell me where you are in the world as well. That's kind of important as well. And I've got some videos now that will give you a load of different ideas. Now, the next video, I am going to cut short because it's about 11 minutes. I'm only going to show you about 2 or 3 things, but the things on it are really cool. These are about social media challenges that you can have with other friends whilst in a lockdown quarantine type environment. And even if it has lifted, people aren't really going out the same way as they used to, so you could just do it to have fun on social media. When I train people at the Industry Icon program, I talk to them at great length about different ways of raising your relationship with the outside world and growing your brand. That's kind of cool the way we do it, but this is something slightly altered because it's good fun, it's innovative, and it will also make you smile. So I hope you like this as much as I do. These are challenges you can do while stuck in a lockdown on Speak on Stage. Now, I could go on for ages with that video. I could have watched it forever because I was just getting into it as well. But it was getting into the territory of the final video that I wanted to share with you today, which made me laugh a lot. And they've actually cut the swearing out of this, which means I can show you the entire thing. Because normally we don't do any sweary Mary stuff on the show because it can offend people. I don't like offending people. Well, sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. Because then they get stressed. They go, "Arr!" Smells like the strawberry shortcake. Arr! Ooh, very nice. And we want to give you some of that. So today's show is all about having fun when you're stuck in a lockdown. Have a look at this image to illustrate. And I didn't even choose originally. I didn't even think about it happening on my mum's birthday. But that is actually a really strange picture because that would have been my mum and my dad and me if I was a girl. I've got two sisters, and maybe that would be my big sister. If we go back many, many years ago, because my mum's birthday today, but I promised I wouldn't talk about it anymore, so I'm not going to. Instead, what I'm going to do is talk about the fun that you can have in the lockdown by sharing with you a video that just makes me laugh. Every time I look at it, it just cracks me up, and I think it's going to do the same thing to you as well. It's basically got a husband and wife. I shouldn't spoil it, I should just let you see it. In fact, I'm not going to spoil it, I'm just going to watch this and you'll understand. And I'd love your thoughts. If you're laughing at home, same as I am, then let me know. Speak on stage.
Oh, hi there. Just because we're in a lockdown doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself. So, I'm going to do a quick makeup tutorial for you, just an everyday look. First of all, we put on some foundation. I'm using number 7 light one because I haven't been laying out in the sun that much, so I haven't got any colour yet. So you squirt it onto the hands and apply to your bush. Yeah, make sure you rub it in properly because you want an even skin tone. Yep, that looks... Oh, and if you want to put it in your hair, why not? Because I think that also, it looks lovely. Right, now, for the concealer to cover up dark eye bags, because, let's face it, some of us aren't sleeping at the moment. So, well, I think I'll use my eyeliner first, actually, because I think that's always works on your eyes. There we go. Okay. And a bit under there, because I've been watching Adamant again recently, and yeah, why not? And make sure you rub it in really well. Next, I think we'll go for the mascara. Actually, it blusher, because when you're putting on a base coat, you need to bring your colour back in your cheeks a little bit. Yeah, there. And make sure you get your nose as well to slim it down a bit, especially when you've got one like mine that needs slimming down at the edges. That's it. Okay. Yeah, lovely. Maybe next should be the eyes. So if we go for some eyeshadow to make our quarantine eyes pop. No, we don't need that. No. That one, yes. And, what colour should we go for? Orangey blue. Orangey blue? Okay. That goes on your eyelids and sometimes cheeks. Eyelids. Yeah, that's it. Why? Always mix your colours up because, oh, a bit of blue on your eyebrow. Why not? That's lovely. That's from the 99p shop. Always a very, very lovely bye from in there. Next, next I would go for a lipstick. Oh, no. Oh, no, it, we're back to the concealer. Conceal your lips first before you put your lipstick on. You really did. And then it's for your lipstick. So make sure, if you want your lips to be bigger, because you can't have any next, go for the mascara. That's no more foundation. Obviously that doesn't cost any money, so we can just chuck it anywhere we like. Mascara for the finishing touches. Now this is how, after the eyeshadow, is how you make your eyes really pop. There we go. And now, well, you ready to stay in?
Wow, that cracked me up. I hope you laughed as much as I did during that video. It was just, it's something about the fact that she just keeps talking regardless of the fact that the world seems to be crumbling all around her. Meanwhile, her husband's just going like, and it's just, for me, you might not have laughed at all. You might not have laughed one bit. For me, I just couldn't stop laughing. I've seen it about 10 times now, and the first time I watched it, I couldn't breathe. I just couldn't stop giggling because it was just my sense of humour completely. All right then, so we're talking about lockdown today. It's all about how to love being locked down and how to love the change in the world and how you appreciate your family and appreciate your friends and appreciate the opportunities that now put themselves forward. And we're not going to focus on the money today, but it is nice to know that there are opportunities, unless what you're going to spend on therapy for a start. Excuse me, just have some more of my coffee. What's his name? It's going to come to me. Anyway, so if you haven't got a coffee, make sure you do. As always, let me know where you are around the world and give me your thoughts and comments. If you just wake up in the middle of a show, you missed some brilliant videos, you have to go back and watch it again because I promise you it was really funny. Tell them it was funny. Tell them, put your bits in now. Just type and say if you thought it was really funny or not, because we've got to share this with people, because I think it's brilliant. Also, start a watch party on Facebook or share this with other people. Like it every time you find something that you like, because that means the algorithm gets people to then gravitate towards, and they'll enjoy the show as well, and it'll make their day. We do it daily, by the way, just in case you didn't know. So 7 ways to improve your life in 7 days. These are really interesting, because the things that when you put your mind to it, you don't need to do too much effort, but each one carries a certain amount of weight. And this comes from theladders.com, which has got a load of really good content on it. So, okay, first thing is this. Begin learning a new skill. Now, you can do that because financially it makes sense to improve where you are, but it also means you can learn guitar. It also means that you can learn cooking. You can do lots of really interesting things that you might not have had the time to do, but because you're not traveling around so much, you're not stuck in traffic, you're not commuting, you have got extra hours to yourself. It's been proven that people do spend about an extra 45 minutes per day if they were traveling into work, just being productive at home. But as long as you get your work done, it doesn't matter when you do it in most cases, unless you're micromanaged by your manager. So you have time to do stuff that you could really want to do. That maybe had been sitting around for ages, you never got around to getting your head around it, but now you can do that. So learning a new skill, number 1. Number 2 is this. Give yourself a reward every single day. We talked about it as a de-stress thing earlier, but you deserve it. Give yourself an opportunity to say, you know what I really deserve is I need to have this. Now, it doesn't mean to be necessarily eating. That doesn't mean that you can't go online and shop and get something. There's a number of different options for you, but you give yourself a reward that makes you feel good. If you know that you're working towards this reward and you know that you deserve it, it gives you a little explosion of happiness, and you can cheat. If you think about it, most people only get rewarded when it comes to a certain time of year. So they reward themselves at, say, Christmas, getting some presents from people, or themselves or Santa or whatever. Or you get rewarded at your birthday because you buy something you've always wanted. Or, I don't know, but with this, if you do it every single day, and it doesn't have to be much, it can be a tiny little thing that just makes you feel happy. I rewarded myself the other day after Chadwick Boseman passed away. Sadly, the guy who played Black Panther, who was our king, Wakanda. By just getting this from Amazon. It only cost about $10, but it's Black Panther, and it's made me feel good. It made me feel like I had a bit of Wakanda in my office, in my studio, which works for me. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it can be a little thing that just changes the way you feel about the world, and certainly hijacks the way you were feeling before something tragic or difficult came along. Okay, start an exercise program. This is the one, as you can probably guess, because you only ever see this part of me. You don't see the part of me that goes like that. This is the one that I've got to start working on, and I feel relatively comfortable doing this now. I didn't feel comfortable doing it before because I felt there's too many stressful things going on in the world, especially that we had to deal with. But now the world's kind of settling down. Do you feel a difference in it yet? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the panic is not as bad as it was before, but it's still to be paid attention to, if that makes sense to you. That's what it feels now. So now I can feel comfortable that I'm not wasting time by going into an exercise routine. Now, I don't need to get out of the house. I have got a bike. It's got flat tires, but I know I can pop it back up again and make it work. But even just doing CrossFit in your house, that's what I used to do. In this very room, I used to just have a couple of mats laid out, a couple of standing weights, and I'd just basically do CrossFit on the spot. You don't need a lot of room. I would literally have about 2 square meters, if that. But that was more than enough to be able to run on the spot and use, what do you call them? Those, what's it called? Aerobic steps. I look at the table and I say it because look. See? Aerobic step. I use it as a footrest when I'm doing the show. Just pull it out and start standing on it. So there's loads of different ways you can do it. Start your own exercise program, and I think it will help you to get your mind focused, de-stress, and also feel better in your lockdown situation. Number 4, declutter your environments. Now, if you haven't already done it, you may realize that so much of what goes on around you, and you look around, because especially if you used to commute a lot and basically live at work and come back and just, like that. I was falling asleep, not letting people see up your nose. If you saw my nose then, I'm really sorry about it. Well, I'm not. You shouldn't have looked. But if you normally didn't bother doing anything inside your house apart from just sleeping, you probably had boxes and bits everywhere. Unless you are a real control freak, in which case you have everything just exact. That's the Sunday socks. That's the Monday socks. You can tell it's a Monday. It's got MONDAY written on it in felt tip pen on the inside. That's the Tuesday socks. Wednesday, I don't wear socks. It's a sandal day. Says, oh, you might be really into laying everything out, ironing everything, get it in place. Or you might just go, clean, I'll put it on for today, especially in lockdown. Not that I do, but if you did, that would make sense. But what I want to talk about is the fact that you can declutter your environment. If you're stuck in and wondering what to do about it, if you start making some changes and give yourself an extra space, it feels like you're living in a new house. And it does clear your head. And it does clear space in your life if you do throw out some rubbish that you should have got rid of a long time ago. Because often you don't see it anymore because you just put stuff on top of it. And if you're like me, you know that there's a disorder, but it's an ordered disorder. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, trust me, it can do. Number 5, and this is day 5, make a bucket list. Make a list of all the things you want to achieve, either this year or in your life, and start working towards it. Combine it with a vision board, it's very powerful. But a bucket list is literally all the things you want to do before you kick the bucket. That's why it's called a bucket list. So you could have on it, hang gliding or jumping out the plane or visiting certain places in the world or becoming a decent chef, or it could be make your own suit, or it could be have a washboard stomach. It could be a ton of different things, whatever, but it's personal to you. And all you do is start working towards them and tick them off. And so what you do is you literally, once you tick them off, it gives you a certain amount of happiness. And while you're working towards it, it gives you a certain amount of happiness. Do about 100 things, 50 things, it's up to you. But it means that every day you've got happiness in every day because you're working towards your goals on your bucket list. Whereas if you haven't got anything to work towards, you're just going from day to day like Groundhog Day. And it does feel like that sometimes in the lockdown. All right, number 6, confront a fear. And by the way, this is like 180 days since we've been in lockdown. Something crazy like, I'm serious. It's like that. I don't know exactly what it is. 170, 180, tomato, let's call the whole thing off. It could be anything, but it doesn't matter. This is what we got. No more stress. Instead of stress, we got Pac-Man. Waka, 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 waka. And I had a friend called Waka. Sean Williams, it was called, Sean Williamson. And he joined the Navy in the end, and he was crazy. He was a nice guy, not for joining the Navy, Navy's fine, but because he's one of these guys who, for fun, would break stuff on his head. Yes? Good. Okay, number 6, if he's watching this, hi Sean, good to see you. I hope your head's fine. Number 6, confront a fear, something that has been there for a very long time. When you give fear a name, you certainly take away the pressure that it gives you and the uncertainty that it gives you. But if you've got certain scenarios that create anxiety, if you can confront them and work on them, you can also get rid of them. You might need some help from people on that. You might need to read about it. But certainly anxiety, depression, all these kind of things that are really challenging, especially when you're stuck in lockdown, even worse if you're on your own, confront them, deal with them, get rid of them, and then you clear stuff that's happened in the past. Now, I'm a hypnotherapist. So as a hypnotherapist, I've worked with many people over many years to declutter their past, to allow them to move forward uncluttered and untethered in the future. It's really powerful. If you don't know how to do it, then look for a hypnotherapist. And yes, it can be done online. But you can also get a load of audios that you can download for free or paid for that will help you deal with all those different challenges as well. Okay, and number 7, connect with an old friend. Reconnect with an old friend. You already have your mobile phone with all the contacts on. You already have all the people you know from Zoom, all the emails, or Facebook, or social media. Connect with an old friend, or you can connect with new friends. But you never have to feel that you're on your own. You can certainly build up a big bank of brand new people who are all singing, all dancing, all interested in making your life better just by starting to reach out. And on occasion you get people who just don't look like they're very interested, but that's fine. You don't have to spend quality time with them, just the ones that you want to spend time with. So these are 7 things that I think you'll find useful, that you should consider starting today to improve your life in 7 days. I'd love your thoughts on this and more. Any suggestions you've got, please, by all means, just don't poop at all. Well, you can do, you need to, but wait until after the show. Send me your details, put them in to the comments section, whichever platform you're on, and I'll always answer, because that's what I do. It's Speak on Stage. So I did say, Speak on Stage. Next, we're on about how to love the lockdown. Hope you enjoyed the show so far. I've had a bit of a blast, because it's kind of cool. And by the way, if you've got staff that are stressed, I've got a thing called the Brand New You program, which is a way of teaching everybody how to reinvent themselves and go through everything. It's a program that's about an hour long. I do it as a keynote presentation. I do it online, virtual, so I can reach your team wherever they are in the world, large or small. And also I'm training people in digital stagecraft. So if you want your salespeople or any of your people in management, any of your team to be adept at using Zoom, virtual platforms, and even creating their own TV show to build your brand, then contact me directly. Not just the industry icons. When I work with people individually, I can work with your company at the same time, because I'm getting a lot of inquiries at the moment. I thought I'd share that. Okay, how to love the lockdown. 10 things you need to consider about why the lockdown is really good for us. First one, and by the way, I'm not saying about coronavirus is really good for us. I'm not saying that at all. And I feel for everybody who's either suffered or they've lost somebody or they're going through challenges right now. I am not trying to change any part of that, and I feel 100%, okay? So I just want to say that, because it looks like I'm being flippant about it. I'm not at all. All I wanted to do with this show, and if you saw it from the very beginning, you know that I crashed down deeply, talk about race relations, and I'm pulling myself back up, and that's what showbiz is all about. So today is really about how to love being in a lockdown and put a positive spin onto things that would really normally be negative for you. So number 1 is this: fewer expenses. You're not spending so much money anymore, are you? Well, you got to pay your bills. But I mean, for me, I've got 2 massive cars outside, and I've filled them both once-ish in 6 months. Just don't take them out. In fact, this guy comes around and says, would you like me to wash the cars? And I'm like, well, no. He said, why? I said, because where am I going to go? I need to go to the shops and back. That's it. I'm not going to events. I'm doing them all here from my house. So it's a different world out there. So you can save a fortune. And it also, here's the thing about it. It really taught me a lot about what actual things are worth. Because we live in a very capitalist world where it's all about buying the latest phones and the latest gadgets and wearing the best suits and looking amazing and letting everybody know how good you are at doing what you do. But the lockdown changed it. Because if you're at home all the time, okay, you might need to wear relatively good clothes when you're doing some kind of Zoom conversation. But I've not worn a suit in months for doing an event online. And I think I only just wore the jacket and the shirt and the tie and had cargo pants underneath because I didn't stand up for the entire presentation. So a lot of the things that we thought were really important and stressed us out and we worked towards every day to get up towards that Kardashian standard don't matter anymore. However much money you have is important, but it only is important for the place that you're going to be living inside for the time being. And it's also important to consider that as long as you're making every ends meet, that's all you needed to work towards. So that hamster wheel of you must be like them over there. If you don't see them over there, you don't care. All the movie stars, all the celebrities, all the film stars, all the pop stars, they're not making music at the moment. Or if they are, they do it on their own. They're not doing concerts, and that's where the money is. Movie stars aren't making movies unless they can do something on their own. Same with TV shows. You've got no studio audience. It's really difficult to get somebody to fly in and do a show with you. So it's really kind of put a reset button on everything. So enjoy that space of being as equally important as everybody else and realize that you always were. But the press and all the media and everything else was telling you should aspire to be like these people. Don't. Just aspire to be a happier version of you. Does that make sense? Cool. Number 2, catch up with friends and family through Zoom. Already said that. Mum's birthday today. Shouldn't mention it again, but I'll be Zooming with her and Dad and Maya and Aziza, my wife, will be on there too. And the dogs will pop in every now and again. And we're doing it later on, so the dogs will need to get fed, so they'll definitely pop in and do that annoying thing. They just snuggle up to you. And you're like that, yeah, okay, we'll do it in a minute. And we go, okay, I get it. I'm going to snuggle up again. And you're like, yeah, we get it, okay, fine. Go away, we'll go out soon. So we go out. When we come back. And then we've got this noise that they make, and they do it first thing in the morning when they want to go out for a walk. That noise. And I'm like, oh, and that noise wakes me up now. It actually goes through walls and into my sleep. And I wake up going, what? Walk. 4 o'clock in the morning, you really need to walk? Why don't you just walk on your own? If you can wake me up, get your own lead, put it in your teeth like that, get your paws and get the key and open up they can't do that with dogs. But that's what I think. All right, number 3, pets are happier. They are indeed. They get more walks and attention because if you're living in a house, the dogs see me all the time. I don't just come back tired and grumpy. I stay in the house tired and grumpy. Number 4, less boredom buying unless you go shopping. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Some people love shopping. Some people don't love shopping. I'm very much in the I hate it, please kill me side of shopping. But if I have to go shopping, right, for a suit or for clothes, first pair of shoes I wear that seem to shape my feet, done. But you can't wear sandals. I know, but I like them. Can I just buy them and go home, please? And then the jacket and everything else, as long as it doesn't make me look like, Ronald McDonald, a big red nose and whatever, I'm happy to get that and go, which is probably what you've seen if you've seen pictures of me when I'm out. It looks like I was dressed by somebody who just went, I'll just get all this, just get it on, put it on, yeah, fine, whatever. Get your wife to do your makeup. You have to watch a video early if that makes sense. Number 5, so unless you go online shopping, which is always dangerous, but if you do it sparingly. Do it to buy yourself or reward yourself with something. That's it. Otherwise, you can get addicted to it, and your credit card goes, whoa, and the credit card company goes, thank goodness we're still in business, and Jeff Bezos turns around and says, right, I can buy another wife. Long story, you've got to Google it. It's not probably funny if you're Jeff Bezos, but if you're the richest man in the world anyway, you don't really care that much. Okay, or if he's not richest, he will be. He's going to be the world's first trillionaire in about 2 years' time, apparently. Trillionaire. I thought trill was something he gave to budgies. Clearly not. Okay, number 5, you're healthier now because you're not exposed to people and other stuff. So you're not actually catching flu or any of the things that do the rounds because you're not going out and bumping into people. Double-edged sword, you're not bumping into people, but you're not catching anything from people. Number 6, you can have got time for spiritual practice. So you can become one with your religion a lot closer. You can get closer to your value system, your religious system, your God system, whatever it is, your creator. You can meditate. You can practice self-development, personal development, by reading a lot on it, by watching videos, by going on courses. but you can do them all from here. If you go to udemy.com, that's a really good way of doing it as well. And if you want your team to be trained, contact me and I'll teach you the brand new You program that's really effective with hypnosis and so on. You saw at the beginning of today's show. If you want to know what I'm talking about, rewind, go to the beginning of today's show, watch the first 4 minutes, and you'll know what the brand new You program is all about. Number 7, exercise, sleep, and eat better. Not everybody does this. Some people just go slob. I walked the dogs this morning, and early in the morning, I tend to see a lot of men. That sounds weird. Let me finish the sentence. I tend to see a lot of men going for walks in their cargo shorts, where they just go, you know what, before I start work, I'll go for a walk. And they all look the same. Every single one has a big beer gut, like me. And it's not a beer gut. I don't drink beer, but it's just going like that. Mine's an M&M gut. In fact, I've almost finished my just. Oh! T'Challa's just fallen on the floor. Excuse me. I don't know where that sneeze came from. All I want to do is go like this and say, look, that's all I've got left of my M&Ms. That's what's caused my beer gut. But it's not a beer gut. So all the people I watch tend to be dads, walking with cargo shorts on, all doing this big walk like this, because they're not running, they're just walking because they can't get speed. And they've all got a face on, whether they've got a mask covering it or not, they've got a face that looks a bit like this. Meaning, this is really difficult for me. I'd rather be lying down or watching Netflix, or can I order a pizza for breakfast when I get back? Every single one, like that. And often, they're wearing sports trainers with work socks. Let me just tell you, if you're wearing sports socks and wearing training shoes, it shows you've got an idea about what you should wear at the gym. If you're wearing like normal suit socks with training shoes, it makes it look like you've never, ever, ever had proper sports socks since leaving school. And in many cases, that is true. Number 8, clean up, redecorate, and really create a home that you want to be in. Opportunities are there. You've got a chance to look at your home. It might be a small home, might be a big home. It could be a number of different options. But what you can do is say, okay, with this, if I'm going to be living in here with no choice for a little while longer, what can I do to make it better? And it doesn't mean you've got to spend a fortune. It just means you can move stuff around, maybe add a little bit of paint. You've got to open the windows if you're painting your house, because otherwise you'll go, and not be able to breathe properly. So you can really redecorate and change that. You can make it as shocking pink, like this. I wouldn't, because you need sunglasses every time you walk around your house. Number 9 is important. Learn new skills, reinvent your business. Learn all the things you could really do to make your business better. And also the skills I mentioned earlier about things that create fun. I mean, I've got a guitar somewhere. Where is my guitar gone? I was it's in my bedroom now. I will be learning that. Fitness and guitar are on my agendas, and I hadn't got around to doing them before. And it's busy season now because I'm doing lots of virtual gigs. But those are on my radar. So I don't know why I've got a hair in my eye. Dave, you've got lots of hairs in your eye. It's called your eyelashes. Thank you very much. But this was a different one. Okay, and number 10, believe it or not, you can discover what retirement looks like. Now, this is quite significant because what used to be the state of affairs was when somebody retires, they would live for 7 years, an average of 7 years after retirement, because their body would shut down. So they basically go in the garden, they potter about, they've got no agenda to go to work. So they basically just slow down. And when you see somebody who's retired, they're moving at a different pace because they haven't got the cut and thrust of business. So, hey, Jim, how's it going? All right. Really, what are you up to nowadays? Gardening, watching, TV and listening to music. So is life okay? Yeah, it's really good. It's good. How's work? And you go, gosh, I'm really bored. Bye, Jim. Cheers. So the key to it is to never retire. And it used to be that men would live for an extra 7 years, and women would have another 3.5 years, longer than that, I think it was. But now that women are working just as hard as men in the workplace, the unfortunate stats are that women don't live longer than men because they're getting the same heart problems and same blood stress problems as men had when they were the main breadwinner a long, long time ago. So women have to be ultra careful about how they eat their food, look after themselves, do exercise. It's across the board. But if you are thinking, what would retirement be like? If you've experienced living at home and trying to keep yourself busy and doing work as well, maybe you should never retire. Now, here's the thing. My wife's from Singapore, and we've changed the age of retirement in Singapore. Do you know what it is? Have a guess. Type it in. Don't Google it, because then you're cheated. Type it in. Let's have a look. Go on. What number? I mean, normally it was like 70 or 75 or something like that. What do you think it's moved to? And because this is a standard now, this will be a thing. I'll put you out of your misery. Don't worry about it. 90 is the retirement age now in Singapore. Now, cynical people could say, what, we're going to hold on to your money until you retire at 90. You might never get it. I didn't say that. But what it is saying is that with healthcare and with the opportunities to live longer, there's a very good chance we'll all be around quite a lot longer anyway. So that means that you shouldn't really consider retirement. You should consider a shifting of what you do to do more of what you do that you love and less of what you do that you hate that pays bills. And why not, if you're doing stuff that you love, turn that into something that pays your bills? We'll talk about that with a hedgehog concept. Meanwhile, you can Google hedgehog concept, and we'll do that in a later show. We've done it before. We've done Ikigai before, which is very important as well. But if these are useful for you, let me know. Always love your comments, love your thoughts. Keep them coming, and press like every time something comes up that you like. Just press like. It makes me very happy, and hopefully makes you happy as well. Very cool. Right, next up, we're going to be looking at the Industry Icon program and how you can really improve things in less than 3 months. So the Industry Icon program is put together to allow you to become very, very efficient and very effective at the things you truly want to do in your life. And that means that an industry icon is somebody who everyone recognizes as being brilliant at what they do. Now, if you want to be successful in business, I think you really have never had the opportunity that we have right now to be able to say, this is what I do. Because right now it's a level playing field. Those who are big stars aren't big stars anymore. They're sat at home like everybody else. So you can turn around and say, right, I'm really good at what I do. I'm going to get my branding. I'm going to push myself out there. Yesterday I talked about how it would work as being a doctor. Let's choose something different. Let's choose something like being a chef. Right, a chef. Supposing you're a chef and you wanted to raise your game, raise your profile. Now the challenges are that you're not holding restaurants where people come in and see you at the moment. If they are, using social distancing, and that unless you've really redesigned the restaurant to have lots of sort of like plastic glass between people, it maybe isn't cost effective to have the running costs that you'd had before. But what you could do as a chef is you can show people how to buy stuff. I mean, it's how to make stuff. So you can have recipes that you film every morning. So I'm going to show you how to cook lasagna today. And this is how you do it. You've got the ingredients. So you do your own cooking show, and you could do the meal of the day for your restaurant. Now, you're saying, what, we shouldn't have a restaurant, Dave? Maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't. But you could have a thing called a dark kitchen. A dark kitchen is a restaurant that doesn't actually, it's a restaurant that doesn't have a sit-down place. You've got all the team working on it, but instead of you sit down and have your food, they deliver it through logistics teams who deliver it. I mean, lots of places you know already that do that. So Uber Eats and all those kind of things. So they've got a delivery system, but right now it's basically a website, and you just, what's on discount, what do I fancy, having a look like that. If you want to make the edge, what you do as a chef is you do regular cooking shows, daily cooking shows, show people how to do it at home. Now, some people will respect that, and they'll want to make their own food. Now, that's fine, because they'll be watching you and they'll respect you. And every now and again, they'll treat themselves to stuff from your restaurant, either going there physically, or they'll contact you or buy from you. But if you're doing this stuff on a regular basis and you're saying, this is a special meal of the day, let me show you how I make it. This is ravioli, blah, blah, blah. And you start showing them how to do it, they won't turn around and say, right, I don't need to now buy it from you. I can make it myself. Most people will do the opposite. Will say, I really like this chef. Having watched him do it, I really fancy some ravioli. I'm gonna buy from that shop. The more you do that, the more you can sell the cookery shows as a home course. You also have some incredibly viral videos that you can use. You can get all the recipes, you can sell them in a cookbook. You can do it as a podcast where you share with people. You can have Cooking with Chef as a sequence of different coaching classes. So you can start the show by saying, welcome to the show. Today I'm going to teach you how to make ravioli. So make sure you've got these ingredients. Have a look now. We're going to list all the ingredients like this. I'll give you time to go and prepare it. Put me on pause. And when you've got all the bits together, unpause me and we'll move on to the next section. Can you see the magic of this? That's what you can do. So every single, and that position really high, because only the famous telly chefs get to do that. but there's none of that anymore. You can be it just by learning to be an industry icon, and it doesn't matter what you do in any industry, you can position yourself as one of the very best just by following the program. Now, if you want to know more about it, contact me directly. If you go to SpeakOnstage, in SpeakOnstage, we've got a number of modules that get you over your fear of public speaking, get you to understand how to sell, how to work an audience, how to create content, how to market yourself, all these different things about creating a brand and so on. But if you really want to know how to do it in a short amount of time, where we optimize you and I work directly with you, you got to get onto the Industry Icon program. That's a one-to-one training program for about 3 months. Contact me for a chat. Just go straight to SpeakOnstage, look down to where it says Industry Icon, click on that, and you get a Calendly link to set a 10-15 minute free consultation. But only if you want to be a speaker. Don't turn around and say, Dave, I don't want to talk to you because I really like the way you do your hair. Or I haven't got a job. Can you give me a job? What do you think I can give you? What are you going to do, the show? Find out how to do a show. It's really cool. I will be doing stuff on jobs in the future, by the way, so I'm not disparaging if you lost your job or you're looking for work or whatever. And I hope this show helps you and inspires you at the same time. So that's the Industry Icon program. I hope it brings a lot of ideas and inspiration to you. And anybody can be an industry icon when you put your mind to it and you think about all the opportunities that are waiting for you. There's no reason why you can't be there too. Wow, that's it. Today's show. Almost an hour. In fact, it was an hour of really groovy stuff. I hope you laughed your head off earlier and you got enough value for what you can do when you're stuck in lockdown, and it made you smile a little bit and feel better too. We're going to leave you a video today which is kind of close to my own heart. It's basically called Diversity Matters. And having started by saying happy birthday to my mom, I can't wait to talk to her later on. And she's celebrating her big birthday today. She won't let me tell you what it is, but it's a number between and I'm nowhere there yet, but I will be in amounts of years. And it just makes you think about what life's truly all about. And when you're stuck in lockdown and you're wondering what life is really all about, one of the most important things about it is just to go, you know what? Life's about breathing. Life's about being happy. Life's about sharing as much love as you can do in the time that we have with other people. Because when you're gone, it's gone. You are done. So connect and love and share and have as much of a wonderful life as you can do. And that's what drives me every day. So with that, I'll be back tomorrow and an amazing show lined up for you. I can't tell you about it yet because I've got to write it now. But I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite videos. It's called Diversity Matters. Have a great day. Take care. Love you. Bye. Question: should we say Black Lives Matter or should we say All Lives Matter? All Lives Matter, right? Wrong. Why? Well, let me explain. If your house is on fire and the authorities arrived and they explained to you all houses matter and did nothing and your house burned to the ground, how would you feel? That's what's happening right now. Get it? Of course, every life is precious. Black lives, plus white lives, plus LGBTQ lives, plus Me Too, plus special needs, plus immigrants, plus animals, plus Bigfoot. Well, not so much Bigfoot. Instead, champion diversity. Really, diversity matters. Look at those happy people. Why? Well, you get a better society, greater immunity, better food, cooler music, and gorgeous babies. Look at those babies. In the workplace too. Diversity means working together, global reach, stronger beliefs, diverse opinions, smarter ideas, faster solutions, incredible insights, more staff loyalty, better decisions, job security, industry respect, greater retention, increased sales, more revenue, more profits, happy staff. Look at those happy staff. Diversity pays. Being a non-racist isn't enough. When you say all lives matter, it's a smokescreen. It means that people can hide from the real problem, and it ensures that nothing happens. Want to really make a difference? Take a stand. Stand up for what's right. Be the Avengers. Go up against a big baddie and make a difference. Become an anti-racism superhero.
Resist!
Use your privilege. Become a wrecking ball. Knock down a corrupt system. Let's rebuild it together. Brick by brick, color by color. Everyone's included. Blacks can't do this alone. We've tried. 50 years ago, Martin Luther King was killed. What's changed since then? So little. So for all our lives, we need you. Speak up and help us. We just want equality for everybody around the world. Black lives matter because diversity matters, because all life matters. That's why, to get this, you have to start with this. And that leads to this, which leads to this. Black lives matter, which means that all lives matter. Thank you.